Hello, ladies. Happy Thursday. Hope everybody is doing well. Tonight, we are going to be playing with some product that is going to be available January 4th. As you know, we have a new mini catalog coming out, which I cannot show you anything inside, but I have been using a few of the products for from the catalog. And then there's Celebration. And everybody loves Celebration because you get, hey, Margaret, hey, Do. Celebration is wonderful because you get rewarded with gifts when you go shopping. And it's pretty exciting. There's some really nice designer series paper. There's ribbons. There's embellishments. There are stamp sets. And this is one of the stamp sets that will be available for Celebration. And with this stamp set, let me see what I did with it. Oh, here it is. Comes this really neat 3D embossing folder. You can see the design right here. And this is what I am using tonight, so you can see what will be available during Celebration. All right. We'll put that aside. Now, believe it or not, I was up this morning at, hey, Karen, yes, I am. I was up this morning at 4:30 to make my cards. I was going to come back to do the inside of the cards, but my day got busy. I ended up, hey, Kathleen, thank you. I ended up baking. I made a blueberry crumble. I made Toll House chocolate chip cookies, and I made cranberry and white chocolate chip cookies. And I never came back to finish the inside of my cards. So tonight I'll wing it and we'll do the insides, okay? My days sometimes get crazy. So I hope everybody's doing well. So we're going to start with, hey, Karen, you're up at 5. Oh, and I actually get up. So it's the only time I'm by myself. And so the dog gets up at 6:30 and I get up sometimes 4. It's anywhere between 4 and 5 o'clock that I wake up. And it's just so I have that time in the morning all to myself. And then my day gets away from me. So we're going to start with a basic white card base that is 11 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5 1/2. I'm just going to check this. It looks like it's off a little bit. Let me just check it quick. Yep, it was. All right. So there's our card base. And of course, we're going to layer it up. Let me just make sure I have the right pieces here. Want to make sure I have so many different pieces. All right, that should be the inside. I don't know why I have so many different pieces. Oh, silly, silly. All right. That's because I need the inside. I must have cut too much. That's what I did wrong. I cut too much. All right, that's all right. Let's grab our ruler and check it out. So we're going to layer it up with a piece of 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and then a piece that is 5 1/8 by 3 7/8. All right, so here's what we want. So we're going to layer it up with our basic red or our real red, and then we have our basic white. And I'm just going to get my silicone mat, and we're going to be using the leaves and the flowers. Let me grab my stamp pads, and we're going to be using real red and shaded spruce. Your dogs go out at 5. Yeah, Sheba, like I said, Sheba gets up at about 6:30, and she doesn't really get up. I actually get her up so we can go out at 6:30, and she's in bed now. Our last trip out is at about 6:10, and she's there for the night, so she's a good girl. All right, so we're using shaded spruce, and we're going to do the leaves first. And what I want to do is I'm going to start with stamping the first one, or the first set of leaves, in the center, or pretty as close to the center as I can. So this way, when we stamp the other pieces, we can just fill in the top and the bottom. All right. So we'll just put this one right about, let's put it right about here. All right, so there's our leaves, and I'm just looking, I'm gonna have to do some die cutting, I forgot. Now we're gonna pull in our real red and our little stamp with the flowers. And I am gonna just grab a piece of paper towel. I want to make sure that this is clean. All right, so I'm just going to ink up. Now to add this, you'll notice that right here, this little V right here is for a bud. And the bud, you'll notice, is sticking out right here on the edge of the stamp. So we have to line that up with this piece here. And it'll make it easy. So we're going to just set it in here. We want to line it up right in there and stamp. So then we have our flower in the center. Okay. We're going to do it again. Line up that bud. And then one more here at the top. All right, so there is our flowers stamped. And then what I did was I pulled out my designer tags and die cut a real red tag. And from the same set of dies, I cut out a leaf sprig, okay? And I also cut out a tag. So we're just gonna grab our tag. Let's get that ink off there so we don't make a mess. And we're gonna grab hello there and stamp it in our shaded spruce. So is everybody done with shopping? I still have a couple things to mail, so they will not get to the recipients on time. I was waiting for things to come, and so now my stuff is going to be delivered late. All right, where are my scissors? Here they are. All right, so now that our tag is done, I am going to grab a piece of real red linen ribbon and a piece of gold trim. Okay. Oh my, awesome, Karen. That's going to be a feat for sure. Oh, they're all under the tree, Margaret. Good for you. I have one present under the tree, and that's it right now. We don't really go crazy and buy lots. I actually got my present already. I bought a ski suit because it is so cold in the morning taking Sheba out, and I hate the cold. So that was my Christmas present. All right, so I'm just going to take this sprig and I am going to just adhere it to this red tag just to fill up some of the space. Plus, I'm going to get hey, Kathy, a dishwasher. No snow, but rain for Christmas. It was warm here today. But yeah, so I'm getting a dishwasher. That's going to be my present. All right, so I'm just going to feed this ribbon. And I want to be careful because when I did it to the card this morning, the ribbon got a little messed up. So we're just going to feed this through like that. And then grab the white one, and we're going to do the same thing. All right, let me get this. Yeah, today it was actually fairly warm. We've had lots of rain. If it was snow, my goodness, it would have been crazy because we did have a lot of rain. All right, so I fed those through. All right. Now I'm just going to straighten out my ribbon and pull it up like that. And I'm going to grab that gold trim. And we're just going to tie it in a bow at the top of these tags. Let's just trim it down. All right, so there is our tag. 39 for you. It was cold and windy. Hey, Pam. Cold and windy. Hey, do. Let's see, I'm just looking. It's 35 right now, but it was fairly warm today. All right, so here's our tag. I am going to pull in, where's my red piece? I think this one's it. Let's just make sure. 4 1/8, 4 1/8. We are going to adhere this. Ooh, let's get this off of here. Adhere this to the real red base, okay, or matte, I should say. So we're just going to get this on here. And then pull in our card base. Don't mind me, I'm just looking. It's like everything disappears. And we are going to glue this right to the front of the card. Just want to get this on here even. And I'm just looking. I'm having trouble. I have a guillotine paper cutter, and my blade must be getting dull because it's shredding a little. All right, so we're just going to take this tag, and I am going to pop it up onto the front of the card. Let's move it down a little. All right, and I am going to trim my ribbon. Oops. Just like that. And then with the same designer tags, I actually cut out or die cut the butterfly that's in that set. And this is the distressed gold paper. All right. And I just flipped up his wings, and I'm going to set him down here at the bottom of the card. And I'm going to grab some iridescent rhinestones. We are going to add one here, and then we're going to grab two little ones. We're going to put two little ones on our butterfly. And there is the front of our card. Thank you for sharing. North Dakota. How is the weather in North Dakota? All right, so let's see. Let's use this one here. So here's the inside. That's why I have so many, because I forgot to do the inside. So for the inside of our card that I'm going to do for tonight, we have 5 3/8 by 4 1/8, and then 5 1/4 by 4. And I think what I'll do is I will just pull our mat in. Another piece of ribbon. And let's just add, of course, our flowers. And I'm going to put one in that corner and one in that corner. We'll just make them simple. And then pull in our real red. And again, here's that little bud. We're going to line that bud up right here on this little V right here. All right. So you line it up and turn it so these flowers are in the center of that space. Oops. There we go. And then one more time. And we'll just leave it just like that for the inside. Grab our seal. So the inside of our card will be just as pretty as the outside. Okay, so there is our first card. Just thanks, Kathy. Sunny skies and high of 44. That's pretty nice. Oh, that's right. It is the first day of winter. Goodness gracious, forgot all about it. So there's the first card. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. Now for the second card, and you're going to have to bear with me for a second because I'm just looking here. Did I cut them out? Oh, no, I cut them out. I used the countryside corner dies for the second card. Let me pull it in here. And you can see I used the embossing folder on the front. Thanks, Margaret. Hey, Kathy. Merry Christmas. And then I'm not sure the name of this punch, but I'm sure it is retired. So what I'm going to do is, while we're just talking for a minute, I was going to fussy cut these. But like I said, I never got back into my craft room this morning after creating my cards. I started baking. And I was only going to do one batch. I was going to do the blueberry crumble and then leave it at that. And I ended up baking more than I was supposed to. And not that I was supposed to, but I think I've told you, Bill has been having teeth extracted. And we've been eating soft foods for the last few weeks. I'm running out of ideas. And so I figured I'd make this blueberry crumble because it is very, very soft. And then I figured, you know what? Let's make some cookies. So I'm just cutting out these flowers because I wanted to get them popped up onto the front of the card. And then I just need one additional flower. So bear with me 2 seconds. I know nobody likes watching anybody fussy cut. It's like watching paint dry, right? But when you don't have dies, fussy cutting is the best way to go, right? All right, so let's start our second card. We're going to have a basic white layer again, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then I have, just make sure this is the right one. Yep. Now I have a real red layer that is, again, 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And I am going to layer this on the front of the card. And I'll have all the measurements on my blog in the morning. Tomorrow, no appointments tomorrow. I do have to fill water jugs, though. All right, Then here is our layer that I embossed with the embossing folder that goes with this stamp set. And this is 3 7/8 by 5. All right, and this is going to go right on the front of the card. But before I do that, I'm going to grab some real red. I'm going to grab a blending brush, and you can decide what side. We are going to blend some color on, thanks Karen, onto this layer from one end and work our way up, okay? So we want it darker on the bottom, and then we're going to just come up so it's lighter at the top. So it's like an ombre. And I'm going to have to pull out my cleaner that came with this glass. All right, so we just want it darker at the bottom. I'm just going to add a little bit more so it's darker. All right, and then it comes up and eventually disappears. So we're going to pull in our card base. We are going to adhere this, and this one I like to add glue so we don't ruin the embossing. And we're just going to layer this right on the front of the card. All right, so quick and easy. Hello, hello. Then we have the countryside corner, and this is 2 7/8 by 4.5. And we're just going to take this and pop it up right onto the front of the card. And I'm going to grab some scissors, and we're just going to add these edges. Great way to get rid of the rest of the dimensionals, right? And then one more. Don't mind me, I'm just looking. Here we go. This little pokey tool seems to disappear. Do things walk off or your desk while you're crafting? It seems like I have it right there, and then all of a sudden it's gone. And it could be anything. Things just disappear. All right, so we're just going to center this right on the front of the card. Just like that. And then we are going to grab the basic white piece that was die cut with the same dies, the countryside corners. And this is 2 3/8 by 4. And you'll notice that I have the leaves just stamped in the shaded spruce right onto this layer. All right, so let's just ink it up good. And we're just going to stamp this right on our layer. It's a little light. Let's see if we can do it without making a mess. Not bad. All right. Then what I did is I took my real red, and just so I could see where I want to add the popped up flowers, let me just grab a piece of scrap paper. I'm just going to ink up the flowers, and I'm going to stamp off And I am just going to stamp the flowers lightly. Okay. That just gives me an idea of where to add my flowers onto the front of the card. So I'm just going to add my dimensionals. Okay. Let's grab the flowers. And we'll put one there. We're going to put one here. All right. This one here, and I should grab my, I'm just going to put a little dab of glue. And I'm just going to take that flower and adhere it to the front. All right. So now the flowers are popped up. I'm going to grab some gold twine again. I'm probably going to have just enough. Now I've wrapped this twice. Let's hope I have enough to get a bow. So I'm just going to add a glue dot to the end. And I'm going to just hook this onto the back and wrap it once and twice. And then give it a little cut. Let's grab a glue dot. Let's put it down here on the back. And we're just going to tuck that around. All right, so we just, oops, I'm off the camera. So I just wrapped it twice with that gold trim. All right. Just while I have the trim here, let's make a quick bow. And I have just enough ribbon. Thank goodness. It's stuck on my finger. All right, so we got our bow. Let's just trim this off. And now we can pull in our tag. And our tag says, "You're in my thoughts." Just want to make sure I have it the right way. So I'm going to grab some Versamark. And my stamp. Make sure we ink it up really good. Let me stand up so I make sure I get this on here at least partially straight, right? And I'm actually going to hold on to it with that. And I am going to grab my tray. I'm going to get into the habit of using this tray if it kills me. All right, so let's grab our gold. I'm going to just hit these spots one more time. All right, I think that looks good. Put that aside. Now, don't leave your, don't leave your embossing powder out. make sure that you close it back up and put it back in the jar or whatever kind of container that you keep your embossing powder in, because once it gets damp, it does not work as well as it would right out of the jar. I noticed that with some of mine, if I left it out, it would not work as well. All right, so now that I have this together, I am actually going to grab my card base and I am going to adhere this. I'm trying not to put too much glue. I'm going to adhere this now to the front of the card. All right. Now I can grab my sentiment and let's use up the rest of these. Oh, got one right here. Actually, let's use these. We'll put them on either side. This way it doesn't catch that ribbon. All right. And we are going to add this right here. Just want to make sure that I'm going to actually move it up just a hair. All right. And then I did fussy cut an extra little flower. So I'm just going to add some glue. I'm just going to tuck it under that corner. We're going to grab our bow and another glue dot. I'm going to add my bow right here. Grab our rhinestones or iridescent gems. We'll put 1, 2, and 3. All right, so there is the front of our second card. Now we just have to do, thank you, Kathy. Thank you. You're multitasking. That's perfectly fine. You have to multitask. Get lots done that way. I multitask all the time. And look, I forgot to add my little sprig. So I want to add it to the front here. So I'm going to trim off the pieces so I can tuck that under. All right, I'm going to do a little bit more. And I'm going to actually put the glue on the front of this die cut. And this is also, like I said, from the designer tags. And I'm going to tuck it under. All right. And then push down on the sentiment tag so it pulls up off instead of using a dimensional. So this way it's off the piece and it's glued to the sentiment. Okay, thanks, Margaret. So now let's do the inside of the card. Excuse me. I'm going to do some real red, and this is 3 3/4 by 5, and basic white 4 7/8 by 3 5/8. And what are we going to do? I guess we can, let's do it like we did the front of the other card. We'll just do 1, 2, 3. And you could stamp off if you wanted. Make it nice and bold. So now we'll just add our flowers. 1, 2. Now this one will come off. Grab our seal, because I don't like to, try not to use my glue to add the basic white down. Just layer this down. Grab some glue. Is it this one? Yes. And add this to the center of our card. And there we go. There is 1 and 2. So if you would like, thank you. So if you would like these make and takes, I know you won't, you can always use a different stamp set until January. Just place an order using the host code on the screen, and I will send it to you as a thank you. You're welcome, Karen. Thank you, guys. So I'm going to try to go, I'll let you know in the morning. I may have to wrap up wrap up the holiday stuff tomorrow. So if I don't go live, I'll let you know. But if I decide to, it'll be 10 o'clock, okay? I think about cards in my sleep. That I honestly, I wake up sometimes in the middle of the night, or if I decide, what I'll do is I'll decide what stamp set I want to use, and then think about, and it takes days, think about what I'm going to create. Now, this morning I was working on my cards for my Patreon group, and if I think I showed you, I've been coloring the ice cream in that group, and then we colored the cherry, and then we colored chocolate ice cream, and that little straw or a piece of candy, and then we colored the ice cream cone. And these are the this is what we're going to be using to create our cards this month. We still have to do I don't know if that's a donut or a piece of candy, and our strawberry. And that's going to be for our card class this month. So that's how it works. Like I said, I go to sleep thinking, wake up thinking. So, ladies, hopefully I'll be around at 10 tomorrow. Have a great, oh, you're welcome. Have a great rest of your night. Thanks for joining, and I'll talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye. Looks like a donut. Yes, it does. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.